You can find, you work all over the place.
I'm all over the place.
Nicole and I do some business together, and of course, always appreciate you coming in, so thank you. Lots of insight. I mean, Nicole's the old school, sort of a blue collar. I always call her the blue collar working agent. She literally is driving hundreds of miles weekly and showing house. I mean, right. Nicole's the lady who shows. One time I asked you, and you're like, yeah, I'm showing the family 12 houses today or something.
I'm doing that Sunday, too, with one of our mutual clients.
Crazy amount of numbers. We'll talk about buying and selling all morning long here.
Well, because, as you know, Harvey, we like to have people on the show that really work for a living. Yeah. Nicole's been part of our panel now for years. And listen, you got to get out there. You got to get out on the road, right? Legs feed the wolf.
Absolutely.
And Nicole's out on the road doing her thing.
And I said it.
That's all right.
I said it. I did it right out of the gate. I'm sorry.
By the way, everybody, Nicole's favorite word is?
Absolutely. And I'm going to try really hard not to say it today. But can I say one thing?
Yes.
Sure.
Can I say happy birthday to my 14-year-old?
Sure. Why not?
Happy birthday, Lawson.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so today's his birthday. He's 14.
There you go. I mean, hardworking girl and also a great mom. So good stuff. We're excited to have you, Nicole. And if you want to speak to Nicole, talk about home ownership, talk about purchasing a home, your strategy, this would be the great show to call. 248-539-9797. Of course, we're brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, a 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can find all of us there throughout the week. So we have tons to share with you. Of course, mortgage rates are still extremely volatile, but also very, very low. It's not hindering purchases at all. Many families still haven't refinanced their home, so there's a lot of great opportunities, especially as we get later into the summer months. We've got some details and some information to share with you.
Well, purchase transactions are hot and heavy right now. We are in the middle of the summer. Things are not slowing down, as we've told everybody. We are in the 6th year of an up market, a lot of sales activity, and the market's hot. So, Nicole, in your world, what are you seeing? What's hot? And we want to let everybody know about where your area of expertise is. So what's hot in your market?
So in my market right now, I find new construction is very hot. They're building them. They're not building them as fast as they're selling them. I mean, there's also like homes that are completely move-in ready and that are priced right. They're flying off the shelf. That's why I have to do 12, 13, 14 showings in a day for one client, because we may have to write 2 or 3 offers to get one accepted because they're getting so many, other offers.
Yeah, that's a great point.
My phone won't stop going off. I don't know.
She's a busy girl.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But I like that. People. I like that strategy. I actually haven't had that. We've talked to some agents over the years, and I had one agent tell me, it sort of stuck in my mind, that he says, when I'm working with a buyer, Harvey, I don't show him more than 4 or 5 houses. And I sort of stepped back on that, and I said, why not?
Right, why not? You want them to see everything so they don't have buyers.
Right. Oh, they can. Right. They couldn't, understand. I know, maybe he's changed since then. It was a few years ago, but not that many years ago. I like the idea of really getting out there. You're a qualified, approved buyer, and then you can see the entire marketplace, and then you can figure things out.
You want to see all your options. I usually ask them to do a list, like 1 through 4, so they're first through their 4th, because what I don't want to do is rush them into a purchase and then have them regret that purchase either. Right. So, and the market's moving so fast, you kind of have to jump and make a decision, super quick.
Listen, as you know, it's a very emotional decision, and sometimes people get caught up in the entire transaction because, remember, they already see themselves living in that house when you walk them through. Then all of a sudden they have to have it, and then they throw caution to the wind, and they're willing at that point in time, and as everybody knows,
to do anything.
They're willing to pay whatever they have to pay to get in.
Stuck in that wheelhouse of doing that.
Right.
I agree with you.
You don't ever have to have it.
Right, and you have to be there. Listen, Nicole, I'm not telling you anything you have to know. You have to be there to point out the good points and the bad points. Of course, we all want to make a sale. The however is, we believe that you have to do what's best for your client, not what's best for yourself.
Right, because one sale doesn't mean anything compared to getting referrals from that buyer, or when they're ready to sell, they come back to you because they know you did the best on their behalf, not for you, but for them.
Yeah, there's a big difference. You can always feel it. The continuous shortage of listings out there, of course, has been leading to the topic.
There's not a shortage of listings.
There's a shortage of good listings.
Thank you.
Okay, which leads to the shortage of good inventory out there on the market. But it's been the number one topic for 2017. Homes are selling fast. This is an interesting stat last night, more than 26.6% of the homes sold over asking price. I had trouble writing this in a nice way, but I wrote, realtors should be humble. I mean, are you really selling the house, or is the house selling itself?
Well, Harvey, you said
the houses are selling themselves.
Right.
I mean, I can say that.
So
but
Harvey,
you're doing a lot of work to get someone's offer accepted. It's
No,
not
you're not.
just, yes,
No,
you
you're
are.
No, you
yes,
are not. You're putting a sign on the ground.
Well,
Stop
they're
it.
doing
Harvey.
14 showings. That just in one day. That's a lot.
No, that's
Nicole,
You were talking
Nicole,
about
let me ask
listings.
you this question. Harvey.
Oh no, I'm not saying on the listing side. I'm saying on the
Yeah, on the
buyers.
buyers.
Okay, I got
Can
it.
Harry talk for 1 second, Nicole?
Thank you. Harvey.
A man.
Harvey brought up a stat that he said 26% of the houses are selling for over listed price.
Yes.
So, Harvey, if 26% are selling for over the price, what percentage of appraisals are coming in under that price?
It should
I
be
knew
20.
he
It
was
should
coming
be
there.
about 25%. Then.
Okay, it should be. So you can never yell again because nationwide it's only between 10 and 15% nationwide, which means guess what? There's that gap, there's that tranche that are appraising for over that selling price. And in the state of Michigan, in our area, what do you think the stat is? It's 8%.
higher.
No,
Right.
it's 8%. It's
8%.
lower. It's
That aren't coming into the
8%.
sales price?
So that's right. So we are ahead of the game because remember, we were the first ones to go in and the last ones to come out. So we're still
Of the
catching
recession,
up.
of the bad times.
Right. We're still catching up. So, Harv, if you have a week where you have 2, 3, or 4 appraisals come in a little shy, maybe it's a good thing that you tell your clients, hey, listen, you're trying to buy this way over the value
Did
of
this
the
happen?
property.
Did this happen last week? Did
And
I
it's
miss-
a-
did I miss
Probably
something?
happened a
last
couple
week.
times.
It might have. It might have.
Last week. It's been happening to them like last hour.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
I'm sorry, man.
no, so what I'm saying is that it's up to the borrower to decide if they want to go forward with buying that property. Because it's happening. It's happening because the market's hot. You guys just said it. You're throwing out all these stats, and then you come in and say, I can't believe it didn't appraise out. Well, how does that even make sense?
There's no doubt. I find it making a lot of stress in the lenders. I mean, there's no doubt. We've talked about this, Nicole, that, the lenders have the stress now. They have to close the transaction generally within 30 days. And then also that appraisal rolls back in about 10 to 14 days later after the transaction. If it's under, now the negotiation starts. So
Right.
it happens often. We spoke about different strategies, the addendums that are coming along with the purchase agreements.
Right.
A lot of the top agents, including yourself, they're putting addendums out there that say, look, you agree to pay X for the house, but no less than Y. And then it's
Right.
written up. And again, if you can put this forward at the beginning of the transaction, then your expectations are different and you have a smoother transaction.
So you said the key word, expectation. So, Nicole, when you take somebody out, you've got to let them know, and you have to set the expectations up front. When we're talking with a borrower and the entire family, we have to set the expectations of what we're going to need, what could happen if the property doesn't appraise out. Doesn't mean you can't get the house. It just means you have to come up with what, Alex Nafusi?
The difference
Money.
between the appraised value and the acquisition cost.
More money.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you set all these expectations up front, the communication, albeit people might not like it, you're disclosing everything up front. And to me, that's
There are no surprises.
There are no surprises. You don't want to be surprised.
Right.
We are going to take your calls all morning long at 248-539-9797. If you're calling from out of state, be sure to call Capital Mortgage. We do have a 1-800 number. Of course, 248's work. Everyone's got a cell phone. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker here locally in Southfield. Get that approval letter.
And if it sounds like we're really passionate about what we do and we really advocate on behalf of our clients and we just want to, remember, for 17 years on the air, for 25 years, we've been saying we just want to be able to disseminate accurate versus inaccurate information.
Always.
That's
Always.
all it is. Disseminate accurate versus inaccurate information, and we do a good job at doing that.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Home sales were up, actually, only up 1.9%, but up from last year's numbers. I mean, last year's numbers were all-time highs. There's no doubt that the tight inventories are playing a role on it because interest rates are at all-time lows, and there's a tremendous demand for buyers out there. Here in Southeast Michigan, again, we talk regionally more so a lot of these numbers are nationally, but regionally here, it has become less expensive to own a house than to rent a house. And that's the key. If you want to live in one of these great communities here in Southeast Michigan, 80 degrees and sunny this afternoon with a plethora of lakes and golf courses and colleges. I mean, this is a pretty nice place to live here and a nice lifestyle.
It's not a bad spot.
It's not.
It's a great place to live in with rents going up because of, again, supply and demand. Just like housing, new home purchases, supply and demand, apartments are in hot demand too. So what do you think the rental rates are going to do? They're not going down. Okay, rates are not going down. Rental rates aren't going down. They're going up. So you have to run the numbers. It's better to own than to rent for a lot of people, and it's up to you individually, and we'll check that out for
You know what I've really seen recently? You guys mentioned the rental market is that a lot of the kids coming out of college right now. There's so much student loan debt that they can't qualify for a mortgage, and so they're all looking to rent, and it's just pushing rent prices to the roof.
You know what? You're talking numbers. We'll talk when we come back. We'll talk debt to income ratio, your debt, your credit, and a whole lot more. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All righty, welcome back to the show, 916. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always here live in the studio, 248-539-9797. We brought in, besides our panel, Dave McClain from Keller Williams out at the Lakeside.
Keller Williams Lakeside, yep, Shelby Township.
There you go, out in Shelby. A lot going on in Macomb. It has always been our hot spot. We do as much business in Macomb as we do in any of the counties here in Michigan. And I'll tell you, we continue to see tons of building out there, a lot of new construction.
Oh, yeah.
So, Dave, I have to ask you this. I ask all first-time guests on the show. They know that the question's coming. We talk about property values. We talk about have home sales, have property values caught up with purchase prices? And I got to know, because right now the market is hot. We are getting comps in at the higher prices, but it seemed coming out of winter, going into the fall, coming out of the winter, when you hit spring and the market turns hot and then the prices, like, as you know, are through the roof, the comps are lagging, so that can produce a problem with an appraisal and appraised value. So, number one, are you still seeing the lag in appraisal value coming into purchase price? And number two, when that happens, what do you do?
Sometimes, but it all depends, because if that seller has a realtor that knows that the highest offer isn't always the best offer, sometimes you won't get into that pickle, because I think values have caught up. The appraisals have caught up to the current values. I think that the issue is that you have people say it's a $250,000 house and they want to offer $265,000. Well, if that agent prices it right, which 9 times out of 10 they do, it's not going to price for the $265,000. If they don't have an appraisal contingency in there that's willing to cover that additional $15,000 over, then yeah, it's not going to price for $265,000. It's going to price for that $250,000, right around there.
You tell them that, though,
and
ahead of time, right?
oh yeah, I do, because listen, I had one recently in Warren listed for say $140,000. We had FHA offers all the way up to $162,500 or something.
But you
no
knew it was
appraisal
gonna price
contingency in there at all. We ended up accepting one just over with able to cover some cash over their offer. And it ended up working. It was a win-win for both parties.
Yeah, we're talking about that plan ahead of time. We've seen some addendums being attached with the purchase agreement. Yes. So you have like a minimum. So in that case, we could say the seller agrees to sell a house for $165,000. All parties are on at $165,000. And a minimum sales price, if the appraisal comes in, let's say at $155,000, that they'd be willing to sell it at $155,000.
My office, with the changing market and everything, we redid our forms year or two ago, and right in there's a checkbox. It is contingent upon it being appraised, or it is not contingent upon it being appraised.
You have a value
obviously the appraisal still has to be done. The person securing a mortgage, yes. But
is there a threshold, though, you put in there that says like?
Oh, for sure. And I always in the additional comments add the exact language, because sometimes it's say the house is listed that same scenario $250,000, and I'm gonna go in with my buyer at $255,000. The contract sales price is going to be that $255,000. In my additional notes, it's going to be buyer agrees to pay up to $255,000 should it appraise for anything less than $255,000 up to $250,000 though.
Right.
So it's not that if it appraises for more, they're not bringing it doesn't catch them in both situations in a bad way.
That's good. A lot of agents, they don't do that though. Some agents.
Well, it's based on disclosure. Obviously, Dave is a guy that discloses everything to a buyer up front.
home, in your car, or at work. Detroit's sports station.
97.1 The Ticket.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining 9:16 on a gorgeous day, boy, it's already July 15, 2017. Again, if you're going to get out there and look at houses, make sure you get that approval letter. Call Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE. Get a true approval letter in your hand. You can speak to our professionals. You can come in and meet with us one-on-one. We've determined this several years ago that knowledge is the key to successful home ownership. It's not about hitting a button. It's about you sitting down and truly putting a plan together, just like anything you do in life. Putting it together a great plan.
Guys, it's a very important purchase. It's the largest purchase you're going to make in your life, okay? You have to have a relationship. You have to set it up for success, and it has to be tailored for you. Okay, there's no carbon copy, homogenized situation.
Right,
where
every transaction
everything's
is
good
different.
for everybody. It doesn't work that way. It has to be good for you.
Yeah, totally. Good way. So call Capital and get that information. Again, Nicole, we talk about it often, how many great programs there are out there, including there are 3% down programs. One of the situations most recently is 3% down conventional loans through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They have income limitations for a while.
Just recently,
Freddie
Really?
Mac changed their Home Possible Advantage. So now what we have to do, just over the last 30 days, we're actually punching in now the address of the home that the families are buying. So if you went in thinking you're a 3% down conventional buyer, all right, so you might have to come up with 2% down more. That'll be more equity you have in the house, and you're still able to purchase that house.
It's still your money. And, I had a situation a couple weeks ago where my client got a raise mid-transaction. And unfortunately, put him above the income limit.
Yeah, threw him out of that program.
And it's nobody's fault. It's a good thing you got a raise. Unfortunately, it's a different product now. You can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to put down 5%. Big deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's
flex.
still your equity.
Right. And there's, like you said, Harry, not every situation's identical. And there are mortgages available. I wrote it down on my third page here because there's so many opportunities out there. If you had a foreclosure in the past, again, so many families went through this horrible time here, the recession, of course, of 2007, basically to 2012. You might have had a foreclosure, a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, a Chapter 7. All those situations are different. Again, if you did a Chapter 7 and put the house in the bankruptcy or you didn't, that's a different situation. But there are opportunities for families. Again, if you're out of that bankruptcy, one day out of a Chapter 13, you can get approved for an FHA mortgage. And more importantly, 4 years and even 3 years out of a bankruptcy, you can go on a conventional mortgage. So lots of opportunities out there to get a mortgage, become a homeowner.
And a lot of buyers, that had suffered back when we had the Depression.
Yeah.
I call it the Depression.
Yeah,
they're
it was
now,
one.
they're now, they
Absolutely.
are coming back and they're buying and they're.
That was good.
Wait, did you just say absolutely?
Yeah.
Every time Alex says it, I get to punch him.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to get it.
Go
Yeah,
finish. Sorry, the depression. Go ahead. Go.
She forgot her thought.
Hey, is
Now
that-
you made me
wait,
forget.
Wait, that's a different show. Is that Freudian?
Ooh.
What?
Nothing.
Not at all.
Now
Okay,
she's completely lost.
What I'm
Forget
saying is those people are now restructuring.
Those people.
Can you
the
say
people,
that?
the
Those
Can't
families,
say
yeah.
that on the
I don't
radio.
think I'll say that.
he's confusing me. So the
I look
people,
good
That's
today. She's on
difficult.
nervous.
he won't stop.
You
I
guys,
can't even say it. I need to be switched
but
over.
we're talking about the budget of these families. Obviously, they went through some hard times. Did they learn their lessons? Generally speaking, when someone goes through a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13, you pretty much took your lumps, and now you're looking to restructure
I feel
life.
like that's a very good lesson, and I feel like a lot of people are now restructuring their life. They know their limits with it, spending, things like that.
Well, but Harvey, you said it. The key is recognizing somebody's situation because, again, everybody's situation is different.
Right.
If your brother-in-law did something, it might not be right for you. If your friends are doing something, it might not be right for you. So what we do is we go down and we check everything out. We dot all the I's, cross all the T's. We do all the numbers, and then you have to be happy with what program that you're entering into. Alex and I like to talk about a 15-year fix. If you're on a 30-year fix now and we could save you money and save you years on your mortgage, then why not go to a 15-year fix? We've been saying that for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we can save you money and you're going to be in the house for a long time, why not at least take a look at it? If a 15-year isn't right for you, maybe a 20 is. But it's only about saving money. And again, you might have to take a little higher payment. And if that's not good for you, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. But at least let us check it out and give you the options, because the options, and we fill in the blanks, the options are going to be something that you have to take a look at because we want to better your, situation. We want to better that.
Yeah, it's all about your budget, the cost of living, the savings plan you have worked out in life. There's just so many variables for every different family out there. Recently, there was an article written about even after the purchase, how much some of the funds that are needed after to buy appliances, to finish landscaping, to remodel a house. And yeah, I mean, again, if you buy a house and this
it can
tends
get
to
very pricey.
it can get very expensive.
Do you want to go to the landscaping conversation right now?
No,
I was going to say,
we do have a
Are we
personal
going to
landscape.
finishing basement conversation?
Well, you're doing with Rick Vespo over at English Gardens, our buddy Rick.
I've got English Gardens and
Rick doesn't mind if we drop it.
No, he doesn't care. And Tim Holden from Holden Landscaping. My buddy, so the budget basically went from X to 3 times that in about 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And so
It happens.
I'm talking to my buddy Jeff Smith from UBS. We do a lot of business together. And while Holden's talking with Natalie doing all the whatever, I don't know, gas
your
lines
staff
and
concrete, moving the barbecue.
and
Yeah.
Smitty had the greatest quote ever. He goes, "Doing an expensive backyard in Michigan is the boat." What is it? It's the boats of home ownership.
Oh, okay, yeah. The boats of home ownership.
All you do is dump money into them, and they're only fun for about 3 months a year.
Well, what's boat stand for? Break out another 1,000. Okay, when you own a boat, you know that you own a boat. But it's like landscaping too. I mean, I'm getting killed at the office because our landscape. I got to call our landscaper, and they want us to spend a lot of money on landscaping. I mean, I'm just not.
I know, but
that kind of
here's
guy.
the thing. Okay?
Well, it should look a lot. It looked nice,
guys,
but
It
now we
looked
need
nice, and now it's a little bit.
All right,
and
we
we
gotta
should have a
spruce
good
it up.
building. But the bottom line is, you can't. I mean, it's a quality of life. If you want to spend money on a finished basement, if you want to go ahead and build that shed, expand your garage, that does not mean it's going to translate to a higher property value.
I understand, but here's the thing.
Correct.
Okay, it's quality.
And a lot of people do not understand that.
Right.
Go to Muscatine Bay today at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
And
there's some
tell
action
me how
out there.
busy it is.
Yeah, a lot. It's going to be real busy.
Yeah, it might be packed.
Break
It's
out
gonna be
another
gorgeous out there.
1,000.
We take all your calls here on the show, 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, a 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Again, 248-539-9797. The local show that gives you all the great information about purchasing a home,
Alex, do we
refinancing
want
your
to talk
house.
about interest rates?
You can dive into it, sure.
So anyway, I've been watching, been listening to a lot of radio, watching some TV, and I hear people on TV, and we do a little bit of advertising. There are people saying that rates are at their lowest levels. They're not at their lowest levels. We have to get off the rate thing. Rates are great. Rates are in the 4% range on a 30-year fixed, and they're in the mid 3s on a 15-year fixed.
Yes.
They're not going down to 0. So if you're waiting for the rates to go down, they're not going down. Okay? As a matter of fact, the Fed's talking about increasing them again in December and 2 increases next year. They're not going down. So listen, if you're getting mass mailed, if you're getting spammed,
Wait,
if
did you
you're
get
getting
spammed? Is that real?
e-blasted, yeah, it's starting up again. The rates are going down. They're not going down. Okay? Email me, hglanz@lowrateonline.com if you want to have a discussion about it. They're not going down. There. Bad
Get it out of here.
Bad Harry's out of the way.
You're like, I
Anger.
just broke
Holy
it down.
jeez.
Jeez.
Broski,
Harry's
it's gonna
breaking
be
it down
sunny
today.
at 85.
I know,
today?
but they're not going down. I'm tired of bad information. Inaccurate versus accurate
I agree.
information.
Good enough. Nicole, we talked about new construction a little bit earlier. Alex always talks about infill building. I know in up-and-coming shows, and keep it here on 97 on the Ticket every Saturday, the Hardcore Mortgage Show, we've got some builders coming on. And the guys, a couple of the builders that we have, I think, scheduled in the next 8 weeks, great stuff. I mean, they build these unbelievable custom homes. A lot of times, right now, they're speccing out a lot of houses, and you can get in there and still pick out your colors. But we've seen it, Nicole. I know we had that one transaction. Well, it didn't end up necessarily in your lap. I'm doing the mortgage, but it's new construction
Right.
nonetheless.
Wait, what
But
happened?
did you know? Well, we'll talk
Another
about this
story.
off the show, but that's a whole sketchy deal in itself. But when you go into the new build subdivisions, things like that, you should always have your agent representing you, because you are not being represented if the salesperson is writing the transaction. You have zero representation except for.
Well, it's like anything else.
I mean, just like
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
They-
Like with that transaction, I heard from someone else that they were told not to have an inspection because it's new construction.
Wrong.
Okay.
False.
Mind if I go ahead? Are you sure?
I'm
Okay,
amped
all
up
right.
today.
You can cut her off.
It's like it's like anything else. We talk about some of these conglomerates, the huge construction companies, and they want you to use their lender, their title company. They're building the house.
Right.
You have there's no system of checks and balances, so there's nobody in as a client. There's nobody in your corner double checking everything. I mean, at the last second, your rate could go from 4% to 4.5% the day before closing, and sorry. Close or don't close, you lose your money.
All right. Hey, I want to throw this out there real quick. An unbelievable Russ Ravery from Keller Williams is throwing a great event out there. It's to fight cancer. It's a cancer charity event. We're having a cardboard boat race out at White Lake today. If you haven't built a boat yet, come and check us out anyways. It's a lot of fun. It starts at 1 o'clock. And again, really cool stuff. A lot of great real estate agents out there doing great things for the community. Keep it here on 97.1. We'll be right back.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All right, welcome back to the show. 9:31. If you're just joining us, going up to about 79 today and sunny all day. It's going to be beautiful out there. Enjoy your weekend.
Good temperature.
Always be safe on the waterways. Hit them straight if you're on the golf course. Call Capital Mortgage Funding if you need that approval letter. That's a good way to start. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage bank. That's 1-800-569-7283. We have open lines here in the 97.1 studios at 248-539-9797. Some of you people ticket text. We don't do that on our show. We want you to call. We want to hear from you. So definitely don't just ticket text us. Call us either here in the show live or at Capital Mortgage. We love answering all your questions. One of the questions that came across to me lately, and I had a client call me this week, it's been popping up, is talking about obligations as I go through a divorce. So, yes, if you're going through a divorce and you're going to be paying child support and alimony, generally speaking, you have to wait till all those things are ironed out. But you can purchase a house throughout that process, especially if you're getting along with the soon-to-be ex-spouse. You guys can sign separation agreements and put forth language together to move forward and purchase a house. There's a lot of things out there that many of the divorce attorneys and some even the mortgage bankers and people just don't know, is that, yes, there's lots of opportunities out there to get a mortgage, but you got to deal with the experts. You call Capital Mortgage, you're going to get a lot of people.
Well, I don't know that any divorce attorneys don't know about that, Harvey. I think they do know about it.
Oh, of course, you were going to defend them.
Of course I'm going to defend them, but I think when we talk about
Harry
buyers...
loves attorneys.
Well, I do. I love attorneys.
I love attorney.
But the bottom line is this, is that when you go to look for a house, if Dave McClain is taking somebody out in their car, meeting them at a house, and they're going through a divorce, Dave McClain has to know that either A, how much money somebody's going to receive in maybe spousal support or child support, or B, how much that person might have to pay in spousal support or child support and their obligations, all that.
That's why first two questions are for
So,
my buyers.
are you approved?
Do you have a realtor?
Yeah.
And
Are you
are you
going
working
through a
with a realtor?
divorce?
And have you been pre-approved for a mortgage? If
Right.
so,
you have to
what
take
kind
those
and all that.
obligations. And, oh, by the way, the rule is that if you're going to use that money to qualify, you have to collect 6 months of those payments. It's 6 months, Harvey, not 3. You don't even know the
It's
answer to that
6.
question.
It's
So
a-
it's 6 months.
trust me.
I think it's
So-
the difference between conventional and FHA.
No, I'm talking about conventional mortgages. It's 6 months that you have to have documented income of that. So, like I said, I think the divorce attorneys know. I think mortgage bankers and realtors might not know.
Okay, I'm glad you defended the divorce attorneys out
Thank you.
there.
Appreciate
And again,
that.
if you are going to be going through that situation, make sure you qualify, because again, a lot of the language we're seeing has to do with being able to refinance somebody off the loan so they're able to purchase
Yes.
a new home and move on with their life. And again, that's why it's so important to be working with a team of professionals. So if you're going through that situation, whatever your situation is, put that team together. Make sure that your CPA, your divorce attorney, your mortgage banker, make sure all
On the
parties are
same
connected.
page. But, Harry, that doesn't mean you can't do something. So let's say somebody's newly divorced and you have to use the income to qualify. There are certain programs, there are certain things that we might be able to do, and there's a 2-step process. Maybe we can close somebody now, and then in 6 months, when they've collected full 6 months, go ahead and refinance them and put them into a more permanent program for them.
Yes.
But there are individual circumstances where people have to move, they have to vacate the premises, or they've just gone through a contentious situation, and they can't live together. And these things happen. They're everyday life issues, but you've got to be knowledgeable on how to put those transactions together. So
sports news all day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Tigers, Blue Jays, 6 p.m. tonight at Comerica Park right here at 97.1 The Ticket. Michael Fulmer pitching for Detroit. Tigers getting beat by Aaron Sanchez pitching in the Blue Jays last night, 7-2. Tigers walked 10 hitters, but Justin Verlander was good, allowing only 3 hits, but only lasted 5 1/3. Due to pitching 114 pitches, gave up 3 runs, just 2 of them earned. The Pistons assigned free agent Anthony Tolliver. They've also re-signed Reggie Bullock, terms not disclosed. 32-year-old Tolliver played in 65 games and made 9 starts for Sacramento last year. NFL suspended Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Michael Floyd without pay for the first 4 games of the upcoming season for violating its substance abuse policy. And longtime Augusta National Chairman William Hootie Johnson has died at the age of 86. He stubbornly stood his ground amid pressure for the club to invite female members back in 2002. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 971theticket.com.
All season long, Detroit Tigers manager Brad Ausmus will go around the diamond with Jamie and Stoney. Mornings on 97.1 The Ticket.
Well, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, it's 9:32 on a gorgeous day outside. Make sure you get out there and call your real estate agent first. Get that approval letter in hand. Call Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage bank. That's 1-800-569-7283. I know we have a full office of loan officers all morning long to help you. And again, sort of get you through all the ins and outs. And there's a lot to know about home mortgages. Let's move off to some calls now. If you'd like to join the show, 248-539-9797. We've got Harry on the line from Rochester Hills. Good morning, Harry. Go ahead.
Good morning. How you people doing?
Good morning, Harry. Is that your real name? Because that's my real name. I'm not a Harold or a Henry or a Hank or whatever.
You said it right. There you go, Harry.
Harry, that's it. All right, brother. Let's do it.
Okay, brother. Please help. Okay. So I'm going to try to sell a house. I bought it in 1995. I'm going to try to sell it by myself for a couple weeks. And anyway, if I happen to get somebody who's interested in the price I put out there, and I know a lawyer that helps handle for sale by owner. That's what he kind of specializes in that. The question is this: on the disclosure form, I haven't seen one of those forms in a long time.
Yeah.
Do you know the current form? Does it ask for? I know there's the questions about water damage and things like that.
Yes.
And, is there a specific question on that form that asks? Is your house in a federal flood zone?
Yeah, Harry, I would tell you this.
There is a question to ask if you're in a flood zone.
Yes, there is. And from one Harry to another, it's better to disclose everything that you know than not disclose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. No problem.
So, yes.
I know that. So that's a legal thing there.
Right. So you should disclose that it's in a flood zone, and it could quite possibly need flood insurance.
Yeah.
Because the lender's going to know when they...
Yeah.
Right. We're going to do an appraisal, or a lender's going to do an appraisal, and they're going to list, appraiser's going to list it that you are in a flood zone, and they're going to attach a flood zone map.
So FEMA made the changes again about 4 years ago. As you know, these floodplains change quite often, especially here in Michigan. And yes, some families that were not in flood zones are now in flood zones, and vice versa. There are some families that weren't. Yeah. It's worthwhile. Did you have a situation where this came up before? Do you know that your house is in a flood zone?
Yeah, let me explain that. I hope I can get an adjustment on that. Like you say, there have been changes. What happened in my situation back then? I also bought the house for sale by owner. So nobody at that point, 95, maybe things were a little bit lax or something. And as I recall, I didn't even find out that it was in a flood zone until
the lender told you.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, that's the only way anyone actually typically finds out. It's a good warning to cash buyers out there. Cash buyers sometimes find themselves not ordering title insurance, not doing their due diligence, not getting a flood cert. A flood cert literally is under $10, and it's through the the FEMA.
Hey Harry, also you can do what's called an elevation certificate, which it's about $350, and someone comes out and they actually measure the
was it the floodplain versus your
right, to
bottom?
see if they can get it out of the
the relationship to the property into the flood zone.
So in other words, you're saying this company, you said it was $250 or $350?
I mean, it's $350, $350. I mean, they'll come out and they do the whatever, the
survey.
altitude of the house.
Well,
Yeah.
Elevation certificate.
Thank
You
you,
got it.
elevation,
You had it.
altitude. Sorry, I'm not a pilot.
You had it.
And it can take
Elevation.
up to about 30 days.
So, Harry, we'll hook you up with all that. And as a matter of fact, if you let us know who your attorney is, and we can recommend a title company for that. Sorry, Nicole, we don't want to take any food off your table. But Harry,
okay.
if you can sell the house by yourself with your team that you're going to assemble, fine. If you can't, we've got Nicole and a whole bunch of great realtors out there that we can refer you to.
Okay, one more
Yes, sir.
amendment to that question, Harry. So as of now, I mean, I don't have flood insurance. It's a rental house. The house is paid off, so I'm taking a chance.
Right.
But I don't have flood insurance on that house, and the house has never flooded, and I've owned it since '95. But then they could say, well, it could happen now because it hasn't happened. But
Harry,
But you're aware it's in a flood zone, so you still have to disclose that.
Yeah.
Yep.
oh no, I'm gonna disclose it. But you're saying maybe if I hired that company, they could. They can't override.
No,
the
they'll just
federal
resubmit what they come up with to FEMA, and then
Yeah.
FEMA will decide whether it's still in a flood zone or not.
Yeah, they can change the determination of your home, your particular home and address. They can change the determination based on the elevation certificate. We will follow up with you, Harry. It's good stuff.
Thanks,
Good stuff.
Harry.
Leads to more conversation. Appreciate the call.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty.
You got it.
248-539-9797. If you have a call or something going on in your life, hey, look, he might be able to sell his house for sale by owner, but maybe then he'll need a real estate agent, a professional to get him out there and start looking at what homes are in the marketplace. I really strongly suggest that more and more families get involved with the agents up front, and for different reasons. One is that then you typically can put your plan together. What we ran into recently, and we've heard from quite a few real estate agents, is that many of the families out there, we're going to call them the empty nesters here, as I'm over 50, going to be 51 coming up next month. But we do look towards, we look towards the future. We look towards the next 20 years.
But here's what you want, Harry. You look good, though. Don't worry
Thank you.
about
Thank you. I
of
appreciate
course
it.
he
it.
says
Of course,
that.
that's what he wants.
But we
That's what he wants me to say.
Appreciate that. But we definitely want to make sure that you qualify. Again, as we get up there later in life, we all of a sudden we're not working, or we have a plan that we're going to retire at maybe 65 or 7. Whatever the plan is, you've got to make sure that you qualify for a mortgage so that if you do sell your house, you're able to move forward with the next one.
Yeah, I like that. I like little Harry on Harry crime. Harry's an old school name. Not too many Harrys come, around anymore. Just Harrys, but that's okay. We'll get them hooked up. And, I think, Nicole, for you, and you have to be seeing this a lot along with the real estate community, the market is so hot right now, people think they can sell their house on their own. They don't realize, and maybe they can and maybe they can't, and it's good. And if they want to try, I'm all for it. But they don't realize what a hassle it is having people coming in and out of their home and
Right.
having
Well,
a
yeah,
hookup.
why
Well,
don't
you don't
Strangers
even know
to
who's
your
coming
house.
in and
Yeah.
out of your home. You don't know if they're approved. You don't know. I mean, you know nothing. You don't know if these people are really agents. You have no.
Right.
I mean, you just have no idea who's coming in and out of your
Right,
home,
and
and
then-
you could be short selling yourself because you may not even be marking it for the right price.
We
You
just-
just
we-
don't know.
Right. I love that point. We just reported this morning that an article said that nationally that homes are selling for 26% over their asking price. Does that mean that they were 25% of the homes have been underlisted, and that's from professional real estate agents? Or is the supply demand something that you're not even aware of? And that you might be cutting yourself short, right? Maybe paying 5-6% commission will net you more money than just selling it outright.
Exactly. And you could, I mean, like Harry said before, it's like going into court and representing yourself. I mean, you just hire a professional.
You
to
wouldn't do
it.
that, would you, Nicole?
I mean,
I've never done that.
Look,
Trust me.
I mean, I don't know.
we never want to get
But you know what I mean? Like, you
Let me ask the
need
expert
a
on that.
professional.
Harvey, have you ever done that?
We definitely look.
He's like, I'm taking the.
I assisted some folks. Obviously, we can obtain purchase agreements, seller's disclosure, lead-based paint disclosures. We can hire the title company to represent you, do preliminary numbers, show you what you're going to net from the sale of your house. We can break down and educate you on probably. Look, I personally can do it. I don't want to be cocky at all. I'm very humble, but I can definitely represent you on all the facets of home ownership. Maybe better than a brand new real estate agent.
Oh, you sound
but
like-
but I don't want to go there. But
Hey,
again,
bro,
usually
you know more than the generals do, don't you?
No, you're right.
You know more than
Exactly. God
generals do.
almighty.
I know
No,
you
I
do.
don't know more than just. I'm just saying that there are a lot of those people out there that are helping people for sale by owner. But at the end of the day, you need to have a team of experts behind you to get everything done the right way. And again, to negotiate when things don't go the right way. And we talk about it. You might have someone make an offer. If the house doesn't appraise out, then what? Then you don't have no one negotiating for you.
We can counsel and
I mean,
advise you, and we can get you with the right people that know their own discipline. So we try to stay in our lane. We like everybody else to stay in their lane, and we'll just
Harvey's
help us.
favorite saying.
Stay in your swim
You know
lane.
why? Because he's heard me say it for 20-some years.
All righty. Hey,
Love
we'll
it.
be right back. Stay here. Keep it on 97.1 The Ticket.
Spas, hot tub, swim spas, save
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 9:45. Good morning to everyone out there. We are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also, you can call us here live in the studio, 248-539-9797. If you'd like to email folks, hey, we'll take your email, mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. You can always Google Capital Mortgage Funding right here in Southfield, Michigan. We do mortgages everywhere, so definitely give us a phone call. And we'll go to our caller here at 248-539-9797. Tom from New Baltimore. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Tom.
Sir. Morning. It's just a gorgeous day out here today.
It is
love
awesome.
It.
Love
Good
it.
Call, Tom.
What are you doing today, Tom?
Actually, we're camping down in Algonac.
There you go. We'll have fun and be safe, my man.
The storm came through last night, and I got to go out and buy a new canopy.
There you go.
That's okay, man.
Hey.
So what's up?
We're looking at buying a house that I find out the people that owned it had a bankruptcy. According to them, the bankruptcy has was a zero. Everything was zeroed out, but there was a second mortgage on the house, and a bank has a lien on it. So I'm curious, what am I looking forward to?
Well, you're looking forward to making sure that you have to get that cleared up, and you got to figure out, and we see this a lot, that we got to figure out why that second wasn't discharged in the bankruptcy. You might have to get a hold. Go ahead.
It was discharged.
If it was discharged in the bankruptcy, then there shouldn't be a lien on the property any longer. Again, I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on the radio. You might have to get an attorney involved and check it out. But the bottom line is that the trustee of the bankruptcy, that should have been included, discharge, and a discharge of lien should have been recorded on that property.
Tom, quick question for you. Where did you find this listing? Are you working, with an agent, or is it listed with an agent, or how did you?
Actually, we were looking up north. The house is in Lake Ants.
I couldn't hear.
Lake Ants?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just west of Traverse City.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Good area.
Is it actively on the market? Is there somebody that has it listed? That
they haven't listed it yet. We've talked with them, and they're, it's a nice place, and it's more of a situation that, their neighbor is a realtor, and we were, talking with them, and, as soon as they list it, we could, put a bid in on it. And
Station.org.
Get the latest news and the inside story on your Detroit Pistons on Pistons Weekly with your host, Kyle Bogey, Thursday nights at 8 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 9:46. If you're just joining us, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You're going to save a ton of money, get a great rate, really increase your knowledge of home ownership, and that's the key, be a successful homeowner. Got a couple events I want to bring up that Capital Mortgage is sponsoring and involved with this week. The Bridal Show is back. That's right, to all you ladies out there and men out there. Go check it out. It's going to be held this week, Thursday at the Weston Book Cadillac. from our office, Becky, Lisa, and Diane go every year, and it's a lot of fun. They meet a lot of great people. And, of course, yeah, it's fun to have a wedding and spend lots of money on your wedding and the flowers and the band and everything, but it's really cool to have a home with your spouse and your new family. So pretty cool stuff. If you want to find out how home ownership will work for you and your spouse, be sure to check out the bridal show, and Capital Mortgage will be there. Then one other event, Alex, actually you're involved with it. Is that the Madison Heights School?
It is, yes.
You got the golf outing. Okay, cool. Jim Myers. Does everyone know? I didn't know, Harry, until you just told me. Jim Myers, better known as George the Animal Steele, the famous, the great, the Madison Heights legend.
He passed away.
He passed away. He's having his the memorial golf outing out there.
It's a foundation golf outing. It's going to raise money for the school district, Madison Heights, and it's a great event. And Alex is very tight in there, and we do a lot of great work out there, and a lot of great people.
For the younger listeners, George the Animal Steele, before it was WWE with Brock Lesnar and all that.
Yeah,
this guy was in the Hulk Hogan era.
He was actually, I think, before even.
He was
they
right,
really got right.
He was right in our backyard.
Yes.
He was
great.
He was from Warren.
Great guy.
Local guy, Madison Heights.
He taught at Madison Heights.
So it's just
Josh Taylor's uncle.
Oh, it is.
From
okay,
Skyworth,
cool.
yeah.
Oh, awesome. Good stuff. So a lot of local connections here. Hey, that golf outing's on Monday, so it's over at the Cracklewood Golf Club. Give Cracklewood a call. See if they have some openings up there. Again, money goes to a great foundation, Madison Heights Schools. And again, so many great things out there locally. Let's move off to some calls here. And if you'd like to join the show, 248-539-9797. We got Jerry out there. And good morning, Jerry. Welcome to our show.
Hi, how you doing?
Good morning,
Jerry.
sir.
Good morning.
Good. If you want me to get right into the question, I
Sure.
take it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I own a house, and I just have purchased a condominium in Walled Lake, which is actually on Walled Lake.
Nice.
Took the money out of my retirement account, some of the money, to do a cash deal. Now, my question is, I want to put the money back into my retirement account. So I want to find out if I could need a home equity loan, or I need a mortgage, or what I need.
No, you
I
need
don't know if you can help me with that.
I would take a first mortgage. I wouldn't do a home equity loan because a home equity loan is going to fluctuate. I would do maybe a 15-year or a 30-year fixed. You can go to 80% of the acquisition cost. We do need an appraisal, and and pay yourself back. It's a pretty simple transaction.
How much is the amount? How much is the amount that you took out?
I took out. I put $5 down. I took out approximately $90,000.
Okay.
All right. So maybe
So I owe $9. I'm going to actually. Probably I need to borrow as I figured out about 60 actually.
Okay.
Easy.
So,
that's
so
easy.
we're going to need from you, Jerry, is we're going to need a copy of the document showing us that the money came from your retirement. Is it a 401k fund?
It's an IRA.
Okay, it's an IRA, so we'll need a copy of the documentation that shows you took it out of there. We'll use the transaction money. We'll put it back in there for you. But, yeah, absolutely, we can do that. And we need a closing statement, too, from when you initially closed.
Okay, I have all that. Approximately how long would it take to do this? Because
30 days.
30 days?
Okay, great.
Hey,
That would
Jerry,
fit in perfect.
just a heads up, man. I think you got about 90 days to pay that back before you get taxed on it. So you got to rock and roll, man.
Yeah, they told me 60, but you think it's 90? Is that what you think?
I'm not a financial advisor. Maybe one of my buddy, maybe Smitty, can text me and give me the exact answer. But
let's get rolling on it so he puts the money back.
I know it's a short time frame before you get taxed on that. I think it's 60 or 90 days. So
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But I'll clarify the show. I'm going to take care
We'll
of for you,
take
partner.
care for you right away.
Yeah, we'll find that answer out, too. Thanks for the call, Jerry. Really
Thanks,
good
Jerry.
stuff.
Okay, great. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Right. A lot of families had that opportunity out there where they had the cash. They didn't want to lose out on the opportunities. Sometimes a cash buyer is a better offer.
Well, that's what's going on right now. A lot of people are paying cash, and then we're taking the money out right away. And we have to document everything. So if you're going to pay cash, we have to source where that money came from. Okay, it can't come from under your mattress or your basement. So we have to source where the money came from, and then we can put the transaction together and do it as a regular first mortgage transaction.
Yeah, it becomes a cash out transaction. It's a little bit different. Fees are different. The parameters are a little different, but nonetheless, you can put the money back in your account, and that's the key because you don't want to drain your retirement savings account. 248-539-9797. We definitely have open lines. According to the National Association of Realtors, 8 out of 10 families believe that the most important financial reason to own a home is that the money is spent on housing goes towards the building of equity, and that's the key. Home ownership has to do with building equity, and we so often have families still calling us, again, hopefully doing the right things, pulling the equity out of their homes. doing home improvements, paying off student loans, bad credit card, toxic debt, things that are costing them money. Yes, a lot of families, because of the great amount of appreciation here we've had, Nicole, we have so many families that worked with us over the last 5 to 7 years. And yeah, they really do have a tremendous amount of equity. Families that bought for, using round numbers, $200,000 areas 5 to 6 years ago, those homes are getting closer to $250,000 to $300,000. So a tremendous amount of appreciation may give you an opportunity to consolidate debt. Again, we always tell you, though, don't use your house as a piggy bank. Do it for the right reasons. So it's something that we always like to advise families on. And of course, home ownership just is the way to go. Why? It builds, great neighborhoods. Kids seem to do better and flourish better by living in homes with neighborhoods versus always moving around and bouncing around. Of course, stability is always great for any family.
Harvey, it's funny. You said don't use your house as a piggy bank. And, I have a couple clients right now. Obviously, the market's back. And, I have a few clients that they're just doing that same thing. Just, cash out refinance, paying off credit cards. And
not everyone's going to learn.
Yeah, but,
I know,
but Alex, that's not a bad thing. But if it's a continuum, if they did it last year and then they're going to do it next year, it's a bad thing.
That's where I'm going.
So if you do it one time, you learn your lesson, you pay it off, you cut up all your credit cards except for the gas card and the one MasterCard or Visa, then you learned your lesson. But if you don't and you start blowing it up again, you're going to go right back into the situation that happened from 2007 and before.
It's not going to last forever. That money's going to run out. No. You just live a simple, laid-back lifestyle.
They're living beyond their means. If you have to use that much.
Well, in addition to people buying a house, what they say is that people spend the most money on appliances, furniture, and then upgrading that house. Now, I understand that, and that's quality of life issues. But if you're going out and you're charging dinner, and then you're charging movie tickets, and then you got to have that G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip on it. And, that's needless stuff. That's wasteful spending.
Yeah, if you're paying interest on the credit cards, as we know, the interest minimum credit cards are typically 15% and higher. It really becomes a trap. Someone who doesn't want to be debt free, of course. So a lot to know. Hey, we got some information also. Fannie Mae actually is going to go in and change they're releasing their new information at the end of this month called Fannie Mae 10.1. It's the desktop underwriting. They are going back to allowing for higher ratios. Back in the recession, families were losing their homes. We talked about debt to income ratio, and we talked about how they were doing the qualified mortgages. Well, with stronger credit, with the job list claims being at all-time lows, people are working. They're making money. Fannie Mae sees that they're going to go back and allow families to have a little bit higher debt to income ratio. So often we'll do a mortgage for just one of the family members, a wife. And then the husband's income's not in on the loan for whatever reason. So there are opportunities out there where even where it shows that someone has a high back-end ratio, they actually don't because there's another spouse that has income. They're just not on the loan.
But before we go to the caller, I have a theory about the reason why Fannie is loosening the guidelines to a 50% back-end ratio. What's the single reason why people can't get in the housing market in the millennial age right now?
Student loan debt.
Student loan debt. So when they see
that's the next bubble.
So that's right. So what's happening is to get people into homes and get younger people into homes, they had to relax a little bit because student debt right now is preventing people from buying a home.
Yeah, definitely one of the problems there. Hey, let's run out to Jeremy real quick on a cell phone. Jeremy, make it quick. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. So we have a situation where my mother wants to sell us her house for under the market value in Troy.
Great.
And we're currently living in Rochester. And want to see what you guys thought about buying a new home or going to the home in Troy.
Actually,
the home in Troy needs. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's a great call, sir. It's your mom's house. You can do what's called a gift of equity. So just for the sake of round numbers and easy math, if the house is worth $100,000 and she wants to sell it to you for $80,000, she can give you a gift of equity of $20,000, which can count for your down payment, closing costs, taxes, and everything. You come to the table, sign papers with no money out of pocket.
Okay, and so there's about $60,000. We had an inspector go through my mom's house, and he's also a contractor. So, but he said there's about $60,000 worth of work still to do.
Okay,
and so that would put the house slightly under the comps that are in the area currently.
Good.
So it's still a good deal.
Yeah, it sounds like
you're right. You can do your repairs and upgrades and still be under the market.
Jeremy, it's a complicated transaction, yet we do these often. And I think, we're definitely going to be following up with you right after the show. We'll give you a phone call. But, yeah, it sounds like that built-in equity is going to give you an opportunity to buy mom's home at the right price.
Okay.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah,
Jerry,
don't mind calling,
Yeah, I'll call you for the show, but give me like 5 minutes. I'll call you right back.
Alex will do the math for
Thanks,
you, and
man.
he'll weigh out what you're trying to do with a new home versus buying your mom's home.
Sounds great. All right, hey, that music says it wraps up another version of the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Again, you can find us at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always send us an email, themortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. Want to thank Nicole for coming in. Alex Nafusi, Harry Glanz, I'm Harvey Freed. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports, social commentary. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.